Two bros chilling in the hot tub.
You the twos and we the ones? Well, you are the biggest two of them all, my dog. That's what you are. You are a giant number two.
New episode of the Two Bros Podcast. As always, I'm Bryce, and I am joined by...
Yo, I'm Matt. Once again,
You
you
can
guys
actually
watch
see
the other
right here
one.
right now.
You watch the other one. We are trying a new recording software out. We are in Riverside. Let us know what you think of it. But we're going to dive into this probably longer podcast than you're used to.
Because now we can lump them all together. We don't have a 40-minute time limit. So it's obviously not going to be too crazy and long, but it's going to be a lot longer.
40 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to keep it simple. But we're going to start with the Elimination Chamber portion because that is on Saturday. It's in Chicago. But first, we're going to start with some WWE news that is not fully Elimination Chamber related, but Bronson Reed last night tore his triceps on Raw during his Elimination Chamber qualifying match. So right now, the Vision is down to just Austin Theory and Logan Paul that are healthy because Braun Breaker's out indefinitely because of, I think it's something. It's like a sports hernia or something, or like something tore. So there's a curse right now with the Vision because everybody that's 3 out of the 5 members that have been in the Vision ever are out with injury right now. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed.
This makes me think that most likely they're going to have to add someone else in. Whether you see like them kind of do like a de facto thing where they end up working with a New Day or another tag, someone else, you're going to have to see them thrown in. I would not be surprised if Ethan Page loses his title, makes his way up to the main roster, and joins this team just to give them another body. This does, in my opinion, this leads to Logan Paul becoming the de facto leader until Braun Breaker comes back. But I also think it kind of kills their momentum they were having with this masked man because they're not going to bring back Seth Rollins to feud with nobody.
Yeah. No, because he is out for blood with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Neither one of which right now can wrestle because they're both injured. And Seth Rollins still is technically not cleared either. So we may get a world where no Seth Rollins, no Braun Breaker, no Bronson Reed at WrestleMania.
This may be a thing where they end up sweeping the whole masked man under the rug and just pretending it never happened.
Yep. So now we are going to talk about the women's. First, we have AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Who do you think wins this match?
Probably AJ.
I think so too. I think
AJ loses due to like shenanigans.
Something screwy. Yeah.
And where she went to there.
Yeah. And I think she will win at WrestleMania. I think AJ's going to win at WrestleMania because Becky's going to win with a screwy finish. But now we have Finn Balor versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I think Dom costs Balor his title, and this leads to Balor versus Dom at WrestleMania, where Balor wins the IC title.
Yep. I don't think there's a world where Finn Balor wins this. Unfortunately, but not unfortunately, because
that Roman cut on Punk.
Yeah, there's zero chance that CM Punk loses this match because why? Let's be honest, nobody's paying to watch Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. Not in 2026. But yeah, not in 2026. We all want to see CM Punk versus Roman Reigns night 2 WrestleMania. So now we have a match that I didn't know was on there until I did these notes. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. Who wins this match?
We have another not clean victory and Drew McIntyre winning this match because I think that Fatu is going to end up being inserted into the match at WrestleMania. So I have Drew McIntyre probably getting himself DQ'd.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, I think we all know who's going to win the Elimination Chamber because of Drew McIntyre. But now we're going to talk about the women's Royal Rumble match. Or not Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber match because Liv Morgan is already declared that she will face Stephanie Vicaire at WrestleMania by attacking Stephanie Vicaire last night with a microphone and beating the hell out of her. So we have Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. Who do you think wins this match and faces Jade Cargill at WrestleMania?
I think the only option, and I think it's the wrong option, but it's probably Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm. I think we are getting Tiffy versus Jade at WrestleMania. Tiffany
Stratton is a very overrated wrestler. I don't think she's... In my opinion, it should be Alexa Bliss, but it's going to be Tiffany Stratton.
I would like to see Charlotte. I would like to see Charlotte or Rhea.
The only reason I think we could get Alexa Bliss is because Charlotte had a stare down with Jade Cargill, which could lead to a triple threat between them, where you could see the two battle it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Charlotte's not in this match. What am I saying? So now we have the men's Elimination Chamber match, which it's Randy Orton versus LA Knight versus Cody Rhodes versus Javon Evans versus Trick Williams versus Jey Uso, who won in the match where Bronson Reed got hurt. He qualified. He was the 6th entrant to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match. I think he was. But let's be honest, nobody cares about Jey Uso anymore as a main event talent. Nobody does.
He's a tag teamer at this point.
Nobody does.
I actually think Randy Orton wins this out with Drew McIntyre hitting Cody Rhodes the Claymore, which then leads to a fatal 4-way.
I just don't want to see. I don't want to see Cody win this match. It would be the worst possible outcome.
Cody's not going to win this match, but he's going to end up at WrestleMania winning a saddleback. It is going to be he's too overpushed at this point. We need him to be in the chase. But I think Randy Orton wins this match because Drew McIntyre gets involved, which probably is going to be Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes is the last two. Drew McIntyre is going to claymore Cody. Randy's going to pin him, which is where we see a semi-heel turn from Randy. Cody gets himself put in the match, and then potentially even Sami Zayn because of the interaction they had on SmackDown.
I don't want to see Cody anywhere near the World Championship for a while. I don't.
I mean, he's going to happen that way.
He's more fun and more interesting without the title because they can do so much more. He does. It's getting stale. He literally was on Raw last night for no reason. Zero reason other than the fact that they were in Atlanta.
No, it's because of AJ Styles' retirement.
He wasn't there. He wasn't out during AJ Styles' retirement. He didn't come out.
He picked him up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Picked him up at the end.
Alrighty, that was the... What's it called? The wrestling portion. But now we're going to move on to the NFL and the meat of the episode. But first we're going to talk about a serious topic that really kind of hit the NFL world hard, and that is Rondale Moore died on Saturday due to a self-inflicted gunshot.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely devastating. 25 years old. Take away the fact he's an NFL player. Take away everything. I mean, it's a human being who took their own life. This is just so much proof we need to focus on men's mental health and just mental health in general. Please check up on your friends.
Cash Nasty said on social media that is something that is so true. That most men get their first flowers at their funeral.
Yes, it's true. But no, check up on your friends and your loved ones.
Yeah, no. If you are feeling lost at a place, like you can't keep going, it's not easy, but reach out to someone.
I believe the number is 988. Because I remember I made a TikTok about it and I had the number in there.
I think, yeah. Yeah. I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description of the video too.
They made it as simple as possible. It's 3 numbers.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to some actual on-the-field stuff because Ty Simpson and Malik Willis are officially on the Browns' radar, which means if the Browns draft a quarterback, it's not going to be Fernando Mendoza because, A, they're out of it. They're out of the Fernando Mendoza race. Everybody that's not named the Raiders, unless the Raiders do something Raiders, will have Fernando Mendoza. So Ty Simpson will be their quarterback of choice if they draft a quarterback. And then Malik Willis, obviously. How do you feel about the Malik Willis one?
I hope he doesn't end up on the Browns. I want to see him with a chance to really succeed, and the Browns are the last place anyone
The Dolphins, the Cardinals are two other places.
Even the Steelers, not a bad choice.
So now we have more Browns news because this came out earlier today. Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders will be two names competing for the starting quarterback job for the Browns in 2026. So it looks like it's either one of those two. It's not going to be Dylan Gabriel. And unless they draft Ty Simpson or sign Malik Willis, it's either going to be Shedeur Sanders or it's going to be Deshaun Watson.
I find it interesting. I really believe we'll probably see Dylan Gabriel get traded to the Falcons. But I think realistically, you are paying.
He would work well in the Falcons system.
I think he'd be fine. You're paying way too much to Deshaun Watson to not start him. As much as I think he's not the player he used to be, and he never will be again. You have to give him the nod for at least the next year, and then you can release him.
Yeah. Well, his contract's up at the end of next year.
Basically, hold him for the season, and then watch as he never plays football again.
And then if he plays well, you sign him to a lower level contract, or maybe sign him and trade him. One of those.
I just don't playing like the quarterback from Houston ever again. I think he's done. This will be his final year. Honestly, you don't have to start him the whole year. Just give him about 5 or 6 games. Your season's not going to go well anyways. You're not a playoff team. You're going to tank the season anyways and get your quarterback next year in the draft.
I mean, unless he plays well, then there's some answers. I do think it's
Sanders being their future.
I think Shedeur Sanders has a chance to be their future.
It's a chance, but it's over like a 5-10% chance.
I think no. I think he will be their quarterback in the future. I think we're going to see a full offseason of Shedeur Sanders getting first team reps, a full preseason of him getting first team reps. So that's going to be good for him. So I do think that the Browns will keep Shedeur Sanders on their roster as their starter for the future. What?
I'm going to lump the next two together and then the two after that together because they're related.
Okay.
It looks like the Patriots are going to release Antonio Gibson along with the Chiefs releasing defensive end Mike Dana.
I know a lot of Chiefs fans are so mad right now because Mike Dana was he was either undrafted or a low round drafted player who had to work his way up and played meaningful football, but they did it to save cap space. And I really could see more guys being gone. Maybe Trent McDuffie gets traded.
I could very likely see Trent McDuffie.
Hollywood Brown maybe gets cut. I'm hearing reports that he's going to be a cap casualty. And then Antonio Gibson, that one
getting cut.
A lot of Patriots fans are outraged that Antonio Gibson was cut. He's a guy who's a good third down back, and he is a good return man for them. He's really underrated too. I think people view his time in New England as meh. I think he was a lot better than people think. You see what he did in Washington. And I don't know why Washington let him go. I don't. Because they could use him right now.
So what's interesting to me is the fact that these people just don't understand how cap works. You cannot hold on to every semi-talented player or player you like because you want to. The cap players get too much money sometimes. You got to cut them. Look, I'm real. I was reading that the Packers have really thought about cutting Josh Jacobs for cap, and I get it. I don't think if they do, I get it. He didn't produce like he was supposed to last year, so they might have to do it. That's just how it goes. Players are replaceable. It's not like he's Justin Jefferson. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Myles Garrett. The Patriots did not release Drake May. They released Antonio Gibson, who will probably get a backup or a practice squad position.
He's too good for practice, but I think he's coming off an ACL tear. I think it'll be a depth piece right now. But yeah, you can't keep everybody. Cap space exists for a reason. And
so, speaking of players who will be kept, looks like the Falcons will be franchise tagging Kyle Pitts and the Cowboys will be franchise tagging George Pickens.
There's also another potential franchise tag here. If the Jets can't find a long-term extension with the Jets by or Breece Hall by March 3rd, he will be franchise tagged, meaning Brees Hall will be playing with the Jets in 2026 under the franchise tag if they can't find a long-term deal.
The only reason I'm okay with them doing that is because I don't want him falling to the Chiefs.
That's true. And then if they do end up trading him to the Chiefs, if he plays for the Chiefs, they'll have to trade something for him. So they'll have to give something up.
But those three moves are, look, they're talented players on rosters who could use talented players. That the franchise tag is meant for that. You cannot expect a player to have the seasons like they did and not get a franchise tag.
Everybody knew Kyle Pitts and George Pickens were going to be franchise tagged. As silly as the franchise tag for both of those players are, but Jerry Jones doesn't do long-term deals for guys who just got there. He doesn't. He doesn't.
I've read a lot of Packers fans are upset that Romeo Doubs didn't get the franchise tag, but honestly, I don't think he is proven to get the franchise tag.
They have a decent receiver room anyways. So I think any of their guys are expendable and not expendable at the same time.
Steve Golden was brought in to kind of replace him anyways, but this affects the team on your jersey here. Daniel Jones and the Colts have begun talking a multi-year deal.
I don't think this matters as much for this year, or 2026, because we may not see Daniel Jones at all this year. I'm going to talk about this right now because I wrote this in the notes for each team's biggest need. I really think that they need to figure out the Anthony Richardson situation. Are you going to keep him and have him be the starter next year in 2026 while Daniel Jones is coming back, or are you going to trade him? There is no other solution. If Anthony Richardson is on the roster in 2026, he has to be the starter. If not, find a trade partner for him. Unless he gets hurt.
I kind of disagree with that. I think in the end of the day, yes, they should figure out what they're going to do with him. But if they hold him for another year, it's not like it's going to hurt him or them too much. He's still only 23 years old. He's young. We've seen players like Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold figure it out super late in their career. Geno Smith. I don't think it's the end of the world for him, but I think they need to figure out if they're going to run with Daniel Jones, figure out how bad his injury is, and go from
It's an Achilles tear.
Look, there is, in my opinion, a player who we'll probably talk about. Actually, there's nothing about him in here. I think they are a strong candidate for Kirk Cousins.
I thought I did put Kirk Cousins on here.
I don't see it.
Wait, we talked about him last week as a cut candidate. That's why I didn't put him on there.
If we expect Daniel Jones to miss more than half the season, I would not be surprised if you see Kirk Cousins in a Colts jersey, which probably not the worst thing in the world. You saw he played pretty well towards the end of the year. He could hold them afloat till Daniel Jones comes back. But another player potentially getting a multi-year extension, in my opinion, the most deserving player of it is Brandon Aubrey.
Why haven't they? He probably was more deserving of the multi-year deal than the deal they gave the deal the Cowboys made. But that's not a knock on him. But Brandon Aubrey is one of the most 3 or 4 valuable players in the NFL right now.
In my opinion, he's probably the best player on their team.
Yeah, he is.
You take away CeeDee Lamb, but honestly, in my opinion, Brandon Aubrey is more valuable.
He is.
And then the Cowboys decided, I think this is a great deal, great money.
It is.
Javonte Williams will be re-signing with the Cowboys on a 3-year, $24 million extension. Look, he revitalized his career behind that offensive line. I think you hold on to a player you know has talent, and I think the Cowboys are in position to be a lot better this year than they were last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because they're a sneaky playoff team coming up for sure.
Because I think this just signifies they're going to let Miles Sanders walk. Phil Maffa is a good, intriguing option for the Cowboys. Jaden Blue is an intriguing option. We didn't see much of them last year. Phil Maffa was on the IR for most of the year, and Jaden Blue didn't play because Jerry Jones didn't feel like he was ready.
In the end of the day, when your running back goes for 1,000 yards in his first season with his new team, you give him the money.
Yeah. And especially behind the Cowboys' offensive line.
Also, it's only $8 million a year. So in the end of the day, if he's not great, you cut him and you don't drop too much money.
Yeah. You don't lose too much money. Yeah.
But if he continues playing at the pace he did before, you have an outstanding running back.
At a very kind of team-friendly deal, too.
25 years old he is?
Who, Javonte Williams?
Javonte Williams is like 25 or 26.
I think he's like 26 or 27, I think.
Really young.
Yeah. So, there is belief that the Rams could draft a developmental quarterback behind Matt Stafford in the first round of the 2026 draft. And if that is the case, who would be the guy they draft?
There's only one quarterback, in my opinion, who falls into this category who has the similar skill set to Matt Stafford, and it's Drew Aller.
Drew Aller, I could see.
I don't think any quarterback out of Fernando Mendoza is a first-round talent, though.
Garrett Nussmeier, maybe? Cade Klubnik?
Nussmeier or Klubnik are both third or fourth rounders. I think Aller is a second-round talent.
Maybe. If the Browns don't take Ty Simpson in the first, I could see the Rams drafting Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson's skill set meshes well with learning behind Matt Stafford. I think the best comparison you have to him is Drew Aller. But I don't foresee them taking a quarterback in the first round because they know they're good and they know they want to shore up that defensive line.
I mean, the defensive line's not the issue. They need quarterbacks.
The injuries they had.
Yeah.
There's a lot of injuries. I think you shore up your defense in general. Matt Stafford is still Matt Stafford, MVP. I foresee him playing well for another season. I don't think this is the year you take a developmental quarterback. I think if really anything...
They have two firsts. They have two firsts.
I think what you do is you utilize your pick and you trade back. You're going to use the Falcons pick and get a stud. That's fine. Your pick as a Rams, you trade it. And you get more picks for the future. Next year is the better quarterback draft to go for anyone.
Maybe. Yeah, that's right, because there's going to be Arch, Dante Moore,
the guy from Ohio State.
Trinidad Chambliss, Julian Sayin.
There's going to be a lot of really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more. Next! This is finally... The NFL has... No team has made a proposal to ban the tush push.
Should I be honest?
Funny. Yeah, here's the NFL. The NFL teams that were trying to ban the tush push never once cared about player safety.
No.
And this is evident. This is evidently clear right now when the NFL, the Eagles weren't dominant with the tush push this year, so nobody cared.
It teams figure out how to stop it.
Nobody did. And you know what's going to happen?
Jason Kelsey's retirement really hurt them.
And you know what's going to happen? They're going to perfect the tush push next year. They're going to dominate it and perfect it, and then there will be talks of banning it again.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
So, Denver, the team who was really close to making the Super Bowl, they could be a sneaky threat to sign a big running back before
Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Anyone, just snag all the running backs before they can go to Kansas City is all I'm asking.
Yeah, please. Kansas City. Also, if you're a team that's drafting before Kansas City and you need a running back, draft Jeremiah Love so the Chiefs can't.
But
Titans, Cardinals.
Speaking of the Broncos, Sean Payton has relinquished play calling duties to offensive coordinator Davis Webb. On top of other coaches relinquishing their play calling duties. Dave Canales of the Panthers?
Yep.
Is relinquishing play calling duties to their offense. Brad
Idzik.
Idzik, thank you.
Yeah. I think this is great for the Panthers, and it's great for the Broncos because we have seen Sean Payton's inadequacies as a play caller his entire career.
We watched it in the AFC Championship.
Yeah. And I feel like had they've had better plays called, that was a game they easily could have won because they were up early. And then they just surrendered the lead and lost 10-7. And yes, there was a blizzard. But guess what? The Broncos weren't the only team playing in the blizzard. The Patriots were playing in that game too.
And they
won.
Yards.
Yeah, they won. Jarrett Stidham outplayed Drake May. And they lost.
Speaking of the Broncos, is there a worry about how long Bo Nix will be out for? I know it's a broken foot, it?
He'll be back by training camp.
He should be. I thought it was. I know it was a broken foot, but we didn't know how bad.
It was just a Yeah, no, it's fine. He'll be back, so there's no worries.
We just finished up the NFL portion. Guess what, guys? We have a third topic area. We have the NBA to go over because the NBA has been on fire lately.
Yes.
This, not gonna lie, these first two are pretty clear. We know why these players are going.
Well, Vince Williams, that was something he couldn't help.
No, I'm sorry. I meant to say the first one. Yusuf Nurkic just so happens to miss the rest of the season with a nose injury.
I know. Okay.
Wow.
Vince Williams suffers a torn ACL and is out for the season. And this is a byproduct of teams tanking. Because when you have your role players on the floor more because you don't want to play your stars, you are jeopardizing the future of your team, because role players a lot of the times are more important than your stars and your superstars. So when you decide that you may not want to play your stars for a better draft pick, you're playing your role players who they're role players for a reason. They fit a certain role. So when you're playing them out of their role or more minutes than they usually get, it ramps up their workload and their bodies can't handle it. They break down and they get hurt. And it's not just a minor injury. It is an ACL tear. So you are potentially costing Vince Williams a lot of money and a role on your team because you want to get a better draft pick this year.
Yeah, but if Vince Williams turns into AJ DeBonsa, they don't care enough.
That's
another injury. This one is massive for the Suns.
This one's huge.
Really good. Their leading scorer on the season, besides outside of Devin Booker, Dillon Brooks broke his left hand and is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
This is huge for the Suns.
First off, let's talk about how good Dillon Brooks has been. Over 20 points a game, outstanding defender. He has been the heart and soul of this team. He's kind of really embodied what they do best. So this is going to stay.
Yeah. And now you know why the Rockets hated getting rid of Dillon Brooks. Because Dillon Brooks is a guy that if he's on your team and you're a fan of that team, you absolutely love Dillon Brooks. But we've also seen in the past with his antics that if he's not on your team and you're a fan of the team that's not his, you absolutely hate him. Case in point, most Laker fans hate Dillon Brooks because of what he did to LeBron, because of how he acts towards LeBron. I love Dillon Brooks. I don't care. I think he's great for the NBA. I think he fits a role perfectly. He is a great scorer who's a great defender who will be a pest and who will win you games. But this is massive for the Suns.
Especially for a team who is surging, who should not be this good right now, who's been kind of carried by him and Devin Booker. Two guys who just have not been able to stay on the court this year. But a team who is the next team we're going to talk about is a team who's barely hanging on to a play-in credibility. Steph Curry will be reevaluated in 10 days due to his major knee injuries.
Well, I think it's 9 now.
One thing we should talk about in this is the next 10 days, there's multiple games being played. And let's just say they're like, hey, Steph can't come back for another week. They are risking only having him for a week of the season remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 weeks, sorry. 2 weeks of their season. I'm sorry. There's only 25 games left, right?
There's not 10 games. It's 10 days.
Oh my gosh, did I say 10 games?
I think you were thinking about 10 games.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's been a long day. It's 9 o'clock. I've been up since like 7 something. But the point is, you're risking losing your star for a major amount of the games of the remaining of the season. If Steph Curry is out for at least like 3 to 4 weeks, that's over.
Yeah, and let's just say he does come back in 9 days. That gives them a month and a half maybe of trying to make a play-in push.
15, 16 games?
I think it's like 16, 17 games.
So
but obviously, when Steph is on the floor, it raises your floor.
Realistically, in these next like 4 or 5 games, they're potentially going to miss him for. You could lose so much ground. They're only about 3.5 games up. Let me see how many they are. I'm pretty sure they're about 3.5 games up.
I think they're the last play-in spot. I think they're the last one. Because I know the Clippers were 9th last time I checked. And so I think I checked like 2 days ago.
Right now, the Warriors are 30 and 27. They're the 8th seed. Both teams are only, let me see. Yeah, they're about 3 to 3.5 games behind them.
Last time I checked, the Clippers were 27 and 29.
27 and 30.
Yeah.
So you're risking falling to the 10th seed. If you can stay in the 7 or 8 seed, that's fine, because you can lose your play-in game and
still be. Yeah.
You need to be within those 7 or 8 seeds. It looks realistically that Memphis will probably stay out of it, being 9 games behind. But if you're losing Steph Curry for about 16, like If you lose Steph Curry, they're reevaluating him in 9 days. That doesn't mean he's coming back in 9 days. If he is potentially out for the rest of the season, I think the Warriors missed the play-in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the Grizzlies have been playing pretty well.
Yeah, they have. After they pretty much blew up their roster. But now, wow, we're talking 10-day contracts, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 episodes in a row. Because Killian Hayes is signing a 10-day contract with the Sacramento Kings.
As a Cavs fan, I'm a little salty about this. He was on the Canton charge, and he's been playing very well. I'm surprised Cleveland didn't bring him in for a little bit of depth.
I mean, they're playing so well right now. It doesn't matter.
They are.
Aren't they 5-0 since 5-1 since James Harden?
Well, they should be 6-0. I watched that game. The amount of calls that went OKC's way was ridiculous. I don't even want to get into it. They should have won that game, is all I'm saying. But
okay.
They've been outstanding since they got James Harden.
Now, we're going to talk about more tanking. Because the NBA GMs will have a meeting on Thursday, as well as a late January competition meeting to talk tanking. Here are some of the proposals, and we're going to go one by one. First one is first-round picks can only be top 4 or top 14 plus protected, meaning nobody, if that's the case, nobody will be able to do what the Pacers did with their super heavy protected first round pick, where it's 5. If it's 5 through 9, it's the Clippers, but if it's 1 through 4 and 10 through 14, it goes to the Pacers.
I like that. I think that's actually a very good rule.
I think it's going to make it worse. That one I think it's going to make it worse.
I just think it's going to make it where teams. I think it's going to make it where teams where it's just only top 14 protected, if anything. Because they're not going to be dumb enough to go, let's go top 4, and then watch a team like the Jazz or the Wizards lose more than them, and then they lose the 6th pick. I think you're going to see a lot more top 14 protected, but that gives teams incentive to at least win something.
Yeah. The next one, lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or at a later date.
You're going to see teams taking earlier. That's all. Players are going to get their surgeries in the summer.
Yep.
I think that's terrible. It's not going to do anything for it.
This is one that no longer allowing teams to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes.
I think it's great until you realize a team takes longer than 3 to 4 years to actually become good. Realistically, let's just say, honestly, if I'm being honest, I think what it should be said is your team can't have a number 1 overall pick within 3 years. Because a top 4, you can go from 1 to 2 to 4. You've gotten better. Is like a team like let's talk about a team like Detroit who got screwed over and they were the worst team in the league and fell out of it. What, five straight years? They ended up getting the 5th pick. 4 or 5 straight years? I think that really hampers teams who want to win and want to get better.
But they're just not good.
They're just not good. Like the Kings. Yeah. The Kings haven't been tanking. They just suck.
They just suck.
Are you going to hold them back because they just suck? You can't punish teams for being bad.
They're literally signing Killian Hayes. That's all you need to know.
At the end of the day, what you want to do, if you're going to use this, you cannot get the number 1 overall pick within a 3-year span multiple times. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers should not have been able to get a Wiggins and then Anthony Bennett. That was God, I can't believe they wasted that pick.
Here, after I talk about these, Charles Barkley made some proposals that we're going to talk about. I don't know if you saw them.
Low. If you guys want to check out Low or the what's it called? Through the Wire. They had some really good
numbers on the board.
Numbers on the board. Sorry, I'm used to their old podcast name.
They've been another. They were another one in between Through the Wire and Numbers on the Board.
They were.
Yeah, they were another one. I watched it, but another one. Teams cannot pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals.
So what are the Pacers? Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles in the NBA Finals. Or what about a team like a few years ago, like a long while ago when LeBron left the Cavs?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense because you're just assuming that, every team is going to tank to get there. Like, yeah, like imagine if the Cavs couldn't have gotten Kyrie Irving. Or imagine if the Pacers, the Pacers are going to be even after Tyler.
The Cavs got Kyrie because it wasn't their pick; it was the Clippers' pick.
The point is, look at the team like the Pacers. That's not their fault. Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles. Achilles
in the finals.
Achilles in Game 7 of literally the final game of the season. Like, it's not their fault. It's a terrible one.
Yeah, and then this would have also penalized the Mavericks last year for Cooper Flag, although they kind of deserved it last year. They did. That's a bad example. That's a bad example. No, I will not. It wasn't rigged, but they lucked into it. Next, we had the lottery odds. The lottery is extended to all the play-in teams, so meaning only 1 through 6 would be guaranteed to not be the lottery. So if you're 7 through 15, you're getting the lottery.
I watched Lowe talk about this, and he had a great opinion on this. That makes the play-in game pointless.
It does.
It is so ridiculous to extend it. Basically, it's like, hey, you can. It's just it makes the play-in game pointless. The play-in was.
What happens? What happens if a 50-win team is in the 6th seed or 7th seed?
Imagine if the Thunder were an 8 seed.
Do you remember in the 2010s, the late 2000s and 2010s when the West had like Team 8 winning like 50 games? That you would have just given.
I feel like we haven't heard anything that really makes sense yet.
Next, the final one before I move on to what Charles Barkley said. Flatten odds for all lottery teams.
I think if you're going to do this, just go back to the odds before you made it what it was. The 25%. Yeah. That might be the best you can get. Because really, like, every team knows if you're within the top 5 picks, you have a good chance of getting number 1.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really your only option is to go back to the lottery odds as they were before.
Yeah. So now, Charles Barkley gave 3 ideas on how to fix tanking. Number 1, this would be the most likely because if you're going to mess with people's money, then they'll do something. You can't raise ticket prices if you're below 500.
So I watched Lowe talk about this as well. Teams aren't doing that. Like let's talk about the Kings right now. The Kings are selling tickets in Costco. You're a bad team. I looked on SeatGeek the other day, and a Wizards ticket was $11. They're not raising prices, so I understand why he's saying that. But that's a guy who's not coming from. The guy gets free seats. The guy gets free tickets to every game. As someone who goes to NBA games and pays for it, that's just not happening.
Now, this is another good one, actually. Every lottery team gets 1 ping pong ball. So it's even odds.
Is it even a ping pong ball?
Actually, even odds. Yeah, it is. No, it's ping pong balls.
An electronic system.
No, it's a ping pong ball. So every team would get the same odds.
But that makes no sense. That means a team who just missed the play. Imagine if a team was like 41-41 and missed the playoffs versus a team that was like 9.
It's already happened with the Bulls and the Cavs.
Imagine if it was 9-73. You can't have the same odds. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like though that because they still have odds, but there's like a certain amount of number. There's a certain amount you can't fall.
They all have the same amount, so that would mean they all have the exact same odds at number 1.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that if you're a bottom 4 seed, if you're a bottom 4 seed, the lowest you can go is 5. It doesn't matter. That'll still be a thing. It'll still be a thing. So that one doesn't matter. Next,
I just don't.
We have remove pick protections in trades.
You're going to see teams not trading picks then.
Something has to be done.
I think you go
something has to be done.
The only thing is you go back to the old odds. And you fine the heck out of teams. Like, I'm not talking this $500,000 fine. I'm talking $10 million fines.
Or you start stripping them of draft picks.
Yeah. If you know what you could do? You'd be like, hey, if it's clear and concise that you are sitting players who are healthy in fourth quarters for this many consecutive games, your draft odds.
The Jazz.
Your odds for the number 1 pick drop from 14 to 6.
The Kings.
Like, you can
the Wizards.
The weren't doing that. The Kings were playing all their stuff.
You're right. Their players actually have injuries.
Well, take it, be like, if this team has been caught doing it 10 straight games, they move from the number 1 odds to the number 4 odds.
10?
Move them down. I'm just saying, if it's a clear as day, if it's clear and concise,
consecutive games.
Consecutive games.
Or if you pull your stars when you're winning in a close game in the fourth quarter, the Jazz start removing picks or lower their
I
picks.
don't think you can remove picks, but I think lowering their odds makes a lot of sense. The problem is then you'll have it where it's like, oh, the Clippers, right? The Clippers are really good. The Clippers are getting better, and their odds are going to slide up, which then goes to OKC, or just like I get. So there's a lot of hard things to do. I think the only logical option is probably go back to the old lottery odds and fine teams heavily.
I do like the idea. Well, here, if you strip teams of picks, you give them back to the team that they were with before.
So let's just say the Pacers get caught doing that, right? That means that let's just say the Pelicans get caught doing that. They don't have their own pick.
Yeah. But then
the problem is that imagine if this team that was just terrible has a pick that's supposed to go to the Lakers, right?
Here's my thing though. The Pelicans aren't trying to tank. They're trying to win. They're just bad.
I agree.
Their team sucks.
That creates a sense of let's just say you strip them of this pick with 12 games left of the season. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. What do?
And then you have to keep playing. You have to. Because
play for. They don't have a pick.
Pick stripping.
Of course, but they don't have a pick.
No, I'm talking about picks they trade for. But so
the picks they trade for aren't affected by them losing.
Or what it's done, or you strip teams of that pick, and then there's a random draw that it goes to a team that is out of the playoffs, missed the playoffs.
You're driven by one thing, and it's money.
Yeah, but we see $500,000 fines are nothing.
$500,000 is not enough. Hit them with $10 million fines, $15 million fines. What you do is you can accumulate fines, right? So however many games you've been caught doing this, it's $1 million per game.
Also, decrease the amount of merch sales they get.
Yeah.
Well, although let's be honest, there's nobody buying a Jazz jersey right now.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
But guys, that has been our bit of a discussion about how to fix tanking. Obviously, Bryce and I are not experts, we're not analysts, we don't understand this, but
here's my thing. We're at least giving solutions. A lot of the people I see when I talk about my posts, oh, that's a terrible idea. And then they don't give any solutions. We just gave some solutions right now.
Everyone wants to have something said. But
then say something insightful. That's all I'm going to say.
That is going to be all for this podcast, guys. Let us know what you think of the new setup with Riverside. We're going to continue trying with this. We're going to try with OBS. We're going to try with Zoom. We're having a lot of fun with it. But let us know what you think of the draft lottery, the WWE, and the NBA talks.
Yeah. Yep. If you guys liked, you know what to do. Comment, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.